Hello, everybody. It's that time of year, I guess, for the 2024 election.
Ready or not,
I feel like we just
are.
did 2022, Krystal. I don't know exactly how that's all going
They're
down
literally
here.
still counting ballots from 2022, as a matter of fact.
That's a fantastic point, which is they are literally still counting ballots, and yet somehow we are here together.
Yeah.
So before we get started,
it also feels really weird to do this show at night, I gotta say.
It really does. Yeah.
Throws
the
off my whole...
I don't think it all...
I don't know what day of the week it is.
Makes a whole lot of sense.
I don't know whether the sun is out or not, but anyway, we're here because the former President Trump is supposedly going to announce his campaign tonight.
Right.
So we're going to do a whole thing. We're going to have a kind of a normal show ahead of time. We're going to look at the polls. We're going to talk about the Democrats. There were leadership elections today, all kinds of stuff to break down. More Republicans trying to distance themselves for Trump, potentially opening the door for Ron DeSantis. So we'll break all of that down. Ryan and Emily are going to join us as well. We have a couple announcements at the top as well.
Two things. Live show, as you guys know, look, we have the New York and the Boston live show. We've got tickets that are on sale right now. The description links on any of our past videos has the code and the link in order to go and buy that. And then number two, we've got a special discount, live discount. You guys loved it so much during the midterm elections. You said, okay, fine, we can go ahead and we can bring this back for everybody. So that's at the top of the chat and down in the description of this video as well. But I mean, Krystal, before we even get to the election, before you and I were coming on here, well, there is a potential major foreign policy crisis on all of our hands. So let's go ahead and put this up there on the screen. This is very important, what's happening in Poland, right near the Ukrainian border, near the city of Lviv, which we've talked about previously as a strategic waypoint. The immediate reaction was that Poland says that Russian-made missiles hit their territory and killed 2 people. Now, since that headline was cut for this show, we have a little bit more that we can offer all of you. The Polish foreign minister and the Polish president spoke with President Biden, who was woken up early. Currently, he is in Bali in Asia for the G20 summit, where President Duda did not confirm that these were Russian missiles, Krystal. He said that it was likely. He was not ascribing any actual motive. He did not say whether it was intentional or not. The Russians have come out and said that it's a fabrication, that there is no evidence, that they did not strike in that region. The United States has made no attribution here whatsoever. The Polish president, Duda, said that U.S. investigators are on their way to the site in order to, quote, ascertain exactly all what's going on there. There's a couple of different things that they wanted us to know. Number one, they're investigating the reasons 2 people are dead. The military readiness of Poland, and of course, I should even say at the top, Poland is a NATO ally. That's why this is so important in the first place. Number 3, President Duda has both spoken with President Biden, with Prime Minister Sunak, with the NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, all tonight before it came out and put out the statement. Finally, and this is what's most important for our purposes, Poland is currently considering whether to call for discussions under Article 4. So everybody here knows about Article 5, that is the collective defense. Well, if you attack one, attack against all. Article 4 is effectively a consideration as to whether their territorial integrity has been violated or not. To be 100% clear, they have not invoked Article 4. They are considering Article 4. And I'll read you directly what that says in English. The parties will consult together whenever, in the opinion of any of them, the territorial integrity, political independence, or security of any of the parties is threatened. So that's the direct quote from NATO's treaty and its understanding. But obviously, zoom out, 40, 50,000 foot and just say, this is a tremendously dangerous situation for the world. No matter what exactly happened, it could have been Russian missiles that were striking all across of Ukraine. It could have been Ukrainian air defense systems. We have no confirmation. We have no independent information, confirmation, etc.
Right.
Lots of accusations are flying around from the Russians to the Ukrainians, to the Polish, to the Lithuanians, and the United States. And obviously, we're monitoring the situation very, very closely.
Yes. I mean, there are several different possibilities for what happened here, sort of plausible explanations for what happened here. And we do have images of the area that was reportedly struck. And, multiple confirmations that 2 people were killed in whatever happened. One possibility is that this was an intentional strike from Russia.
Yes.
No one has said that outright yet. We
Correct.
should be clear about that, and the Russians certainly deny that. Another possibility is that this was an accident. The Russians haven't been known, and their missiles haven't been known to be all that precise. And today they were bombarding Kyiv and the eastern part of Ukraine, heavily hitting Ukrainian energy infrastructure. Once again, you've got Kyiv in pretty much a blackout state at this point. So under that sort of heavy bombardment, was there a mistake where one thing landed across the border in Poland? That is one possibility. Another possibility is that as part of Ukrainian air missile defense,
Yes.
that they either hit a Russian missile and some of the debris fell here, or this was a Ukrainian air defense missile. So those are sort of the plausible possibilities. Again, we don't have confirmation of any of those scenarios, but to underscore why this is such a big deal, this is the exact kind of potentially accidental situation that we've been warning about, and we're far from alone in warning about the dangerous potential escalation from a situation like this. You have Poland now considering invoking Article 4. You have a major international incident. The one thing that I can say that is positive is that we know the Biden administration has been in communication with their Russian counterparts in recent days and weeks.
Yes.
Having those avenues of communication and those channels of communication open so that, you know, if it was an accident, that can be made really clear. Any sort of potential escalatory moves can be telegraphed, so there's no misunderstanding of that as well. Those things are incredibly important for keeping a dangerous situation like this from going completely off the rails. But this is a scary situation. There's just no doubt about it.
I don't think there's any other way to describe it. You know, the moment I saw it, I was like, this is going to be big and it's going to be potentially bad. I think the best case scenario for the world is either the Russians say it was a mistake, they apologize, but they're already coming out and denying it. The Poles effectively either, they have some face-saving move where they will provide X amount more military assistance to Ukraine. The United States and NATO, in addition, do that as well. And hopefully we see no further escalation from that. But everything is on the table right now. I mean, if Russia did accidentally do this versus intentionally doing this, those are two very separate worlds. But everything that we know is that this will likely invite some sort of policy response. We have no idea what that is. What's scary is that within that policy response is a consideration of possible war. I mean, if let's say that the Western intelligence agencies say that or claim that this was an intentional act, I mean, that is an attack on a NATO country, and it would be within Poland and the NATO alliance's right in order to invoke that. Obviously, that wouldn't be in the World War III scenario. The other one,
Poland, sort of understandably, given their location, has been among the most hawkish, if not the most hawkish, of the NATO allies.
They and the I mean, whether they're whatever. We don't have to decide who's Baltic or not. They and the other Baltic states have long been the most hawkish whenever it comes to Ukraine. They have always warned that Poland in particular has said that if there was any strike, a nuclear strike even inside of Ukraine, they would consider that as an invocation of Article 5. The point is, we do not know the information at this time. I just want to encourage everybody to wait. Don't blame one person or another. In a situation like this, the best possible thing is to know, we know the phone calls are happening. We can tell you exactly what officially has been said from the United States government, from NATO, from Poland, and from the Russians, and we are simply in a wait and see mode. We saw a picture from President Biden that he tweeted out, clearly been roused from his sleep. Him, Jake Sullivan, and Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, all in Bali on the phone, very early Bali time, 5:30 a.m., on the phone with the Polish foreign minister. But, you see the president roused out of bed, talking about NATO, Article 4, Article 5, the considerations. There are there's been a summons by the Polish government for their Russian minister, their ambassador, to come and explain the situation. So all eyes right now on the Kremlin, and we will try and keep everybody as updated throughout this stream as possible.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to say about this before we move into the politics, I think this all really underscores what a critical presidential race we are facing in terms of who's going to be the next commander-in-chief.
Yes.
So, it's kind of an appropriate table setter, I guess, in that way. And then the last thing that I have to say is that scenarios like this are exactly why, even though we, completely believe the Ukrainian cause is just, even though the Russians are the invaders and the imperial attackers here in this situation, why we have been so vocal and so direct, even when it was very controversial, about calling for diplomacy and calling for talks, because The longer this war continues, the more of a risk that you are taking of potential disasters leading to catastrophic consequences. And this is one scenario that we have talked about, that we have envisioned, that we have been fearful of, and now some aspect of it has come to pass. And let's just hope that everyone calms the waters and we're able to move past it without some sort of contagion.
Yeah, that's all we can possibly hope for.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.